Today we're installing the Tusk UTV Adventure Roof Rack on our XP4 The process will be similar for the two-seaters as well. Now this not only looks good, it's rugged, and it's going to give you some space to secure your items. So if you're doing longer day trips, camping, or adventure riding, it allows you to get the gear out of your cab, free up some legroom, and get it securely attached to your roof. Now you have plenty of tie-down points with it, and you have a few different options when you go to order. You can get just the roof rack, or you can get it with different accessories. So things like your light bar or a roof, just type in your year, make, and model to make sure you're getting the correct stuff. Now, also, this is going to work with existing roofs, but to make sure it works with the roof you have, you want to check our website. Now, with all that being said, let's go ahead and get it installed. Right here we have all the parts for our Tusk UTV Adventure Roof Rack laid out. Keep in mind this is for the four-seater, so we might have some additional parts that you might not have. So with that being said, we've got cross members. The widest cross member is going to go towards the front of the machine. You've got the side rails. This is the back piece, the front piece. You've got some braces that go on the sides, and then you have this option to run the light bar mount if you want. Then for hardware, we've got spacers, some longer bolts. Keep in mind with these longer bolts, the two longest ones, they're gonna go through that front cross member. And then the rest of the hardware, I'm just leaving it in the packaging just because, you know, there's so many different pieces that you don't wanna lose them. So with that being said, you know, you've got washers and nylock nuts in one of them. Each bolt is gonna get a washer installed on it. So keep that in mind. And then the smaller bag, that is going to be for the light bar bracket. So since we already have our roof installed, these two outer front corner bolts, we're going to remove them. Now we can install the cross member. So with this, we've got these two slots in the front facing forward. You've got your spacer. Place that over the mount through the roof, and then we'll take the longest bolt with a washer on it, and we're going to thread that in. Now as you assemble everything, keep in mind you're going to want to leave everything loose until we have it all together, and then we'll go back through and tighten it all down. After that, we're going to do the same thing for 3 remaining cross members. Now a tip, when you do this, just do the bolts for one cross member at a time. That way you don't have the roof sliding around. Then again, we've got the shorter bolts for the remaining cross members. So we've got the spacer. We're going to line up that wider slot in the cross member. And then we're going straight into that roll cage clamp. Next, we're going to install the side rails. So with these, keep in mind the taper is going to go towards the back, and these are easy to get in the correct orientation just because you've got the two slots that mount up with that cross member in the front, and then the rest are going to be a longer slot all the way back. So we're going to have 2 bolts going through this, and then the next cross member, we're just going to have 1 bolt going through there. Keep in mind the washer is going to go under the bolt head, and then we've got the nylock nut on the bottom. Next, we're going to do the same thing for the back. This taper is much more noticeable, and the slots, they're going to be the same all the way through. So we've just got 2 mounting locations there. Next, we're going to install the brace. So you want to make sure you have the logo in the correct orientation, just like ours. Then we'll install the 4 bolts and nylock nuts. So this thing's starting to shape up. It's actually looking pretty good. So from here, we're going to do the same steps on the other side. Now for the back section, you want the Tusk logo facing the back of the machine in its proper orientation. And then this is going to fit in between the side rails, and we're going to use 4 of the standard bolts with the nylock nuts to install it. The next step is to install the rest of the cross members. So to do that, we're going to go to not the slots, but the actual individual holes. So you'll see 3 different holes on the 4-seaters. The 2-seater obviously will be different, but we're going to again use that standard hardware and nylock nut to install these. Now it's time to install the front section. So with this, we have these 2 tabs. They're going to fit inside the side rails. And as we set this into place, you can see we have that Tusk logo in the correct orientation. Now the hardware for this front section is going to be different. This is all the stuff out of the small bag. So the 4 longer bolts, we're going to go through the sides. Now again, you can install just this front section, or if you got the kit with the light bar, you can install the bracket for that at the same time. We're going to install that bracket and actually put a light bar on this one. And it might be helpful to have someone hold this front section in place while you install all that hardware. You know, in these brackets, it's just like anything else. It's all about the logo being in the correct orientation. So we've installed our light bar. Now with that, if you need to know how to wire it up, we do have a separate how-to video for that, so go ahead and watch it. But for us, what we need to do, we have all the hardware loose, so we need to square this thing up because we have a ton of adjustability. So that moves a lot. So I'm gonna start with the cross members. I'm gonna center those up first, get them tightened down, then we'll go and tighten the front and back sections. And then the last thing we'll do is tighten down these rails. You can use a straight edge down them, tighten down the rails and the braces. All right, quick heads up for you guys. So I'm gonna tighten this top one first, and then before I tighten the bottom one, I'm actually gonna remove that nut on there because that's the only way we can reach the bolt that's holding the side rail to that cross member. So we'll go ahead and do that. So I've got that side rail bolt tightened up. We'll reinstall that nut and tighten it down, then do the same steps on the other side. And that's how you install the Tusk UTV Adventure Roof Rack on your XP 1000. If you have any questions about the install process, leave those down in the comments below. And if you need to pick one of these up, you can find them on our website. We offer free shipping on orders over $75. And for more helpful content like this, subscribe to our channel. I'm Charles with Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Thanks for watching.